Hello and welcome back to Random Librarian. Today we are standing because my room is made of boxes because I am moving! Ah! I feel like I've mentioned that in just about every video so far, but I'm so excited, so we're mentioning it again. Yes. But today's video is not about that. Today's video is about a trend that I have been noticing in my own reading, and I've been reading a lot of backlist things, so the fact that it's happening so frequently is like kind of surprising because I didn't set out to do this. But by this, I mean magical librarians in my stories, and it's the best. So I've got some books physically that I want to show off and talk about, and then I've also got some that I've already sent out to people. So I'll do some editing magic to put the covers in after the fact. Alrighty, so let's talk about some of the books that I have here with me, and around whatever of, I don't know what my bangs are doing, and that's why I'm growing them out. So I recently read the first book in this. So far it's a duology, and I think that a third book is coming out soon, but this is Kata Witch by Nettie Okorafor. So I probably said their name incorrectly, but I absolutely love their work. So this is, I think, middle grade, maybe edge of middle grade into YA story set in Nigeria. We have two characters who are from the US but living in Nigeria, two characters that were born in Nigeria and grew up there. And our main character, Sunny, doesn't know that she has magic. So she's also an albino. She was born and grew up in New York, and we get to see a little bit of the complicated family situation for her. So I really enjoyed this because it's a different kind of take on magic than I have seen before, and that I have read before. And it's easy to learn about the magic because we're learning about it with Sunny. Sunny didn't know that this whole other world existed. And in this whole other world, the librarian, the head librarian of their library, is kind of like the most powerful person in the society because it's based on knowledge. And as you learn new things, like magical coins fall from the sky, which I love as a concept. And also I love that the librarian has this sway in the community, and a little bit of a spoiler, but takes on Sunny as her mentee. So I thoroughly enjoyed book one. I'm excited to read book two. Magical librarians as keepers of the knowledge, but also heads of the society as a result of said knowledge. I thought this was really, really well done. I'm excited to keep reading it. Then, of course, I have read this duology very recently. So this is Strange the Dreamer and the Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. Strange, one of the main characters, is a librarian. He starts out being a librarian when he's very young. In the town where he grew up, being a librarian wasn't a status thing. But in the town that he made his field of study, and the town where he ends up, essentially, librarians were very much held in esteem until their library was smushed by a magic rock from a different universe. So these are so unique, and I loved them, and I really recommend reading them, especially with a magical librarian main character. That is pretty much my jam. This is book two of the series, which I haven't read yet, but in The 100,000 Kingdoms, which is book one of the Inheritance trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, it's in the library where our main character kind of comes to understand a lot of things that were murky beforehand, and she meets a goddess in the library, so I'm including that in this, and I'm really excited to finish this trilogy. I have book two and book three to finish. But N.K. Jemisin is a genius, so, I'm about it. This last one that I have in physical, I didn't actually really enjoy this book because I felt like the librarian character was a manic pixie dream girl, and it kind of presented being a librarian as like not a real job, I would say. She talked about being a librarian as if it was like the dream, so it felt like someone who hasn't ever worked in a library was trying to describe working in a library. So that wasn't for me. Also, I hated the love interest. He was awful. God awful. Then, let's talk about those that I've read recently that I have mailed off to people. So that includes the entirety of the Old Kingdom series by Garth Nix, especially, of course, Lyriel, so the second book in the series, which takes place in large part, or at least like in half, in the magical library of the Claire. Lyriel is a librarian, and she is discovering all of these like locked away magics within the magical library and just having adventures that sound absolutely amazing, and she's doing all of that with her magical talking dog of a best friend. So Lyriel was my favorite of this series, mainly because it took place inside of the library. But we also have Lyriel in all of the books after that, so Abhorsen, Golden Hand, and then she's not in Clariel, so at least we get 3 books with Lyriel. I guess I should mention Master of Crows, which I do have, but it's in a box and I don't really want to get it out because I didn't really like that book. But there is a magical library, or a library of magical tomes, and the main character slash one of the romantic leads is very good at languages and research. So I guess she's a librarian, even though I don't like her. So I guess that counts, right? So that was Master of Crows by Grace Draven. And then I think I'm going to get to the honorable mentions now, because I think those are all of the recent libraries I have seen. So my 2 honorable mentions include The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, and that is because in the same way that I just mentioned Master of Crows has a library of magical tomes, they have a library of magical tomes that help our main Emperor's daughter, Lynn, understand the magic of bone shards. And while I don't think she ranks as a librarian, I don't think there's even like a librarian construct, the fact that there is a magical library and it helps our main character proceed through the plot, I'm including it as an honorable mention. Then this next one is an honorable mention, not because there's a librarian character, but because it was written by a librarian and because I absolutely love this book. So this is Tuesday When He Talks to Ghosts by Kate Reculia. It has a smidge of magic or like the beyond in this storytelling, but it's just such a fun read, and it takes place in Boston, so for me, I think I'll probably pick it up when I start feeling a little bit homesick. This would be the perfect reread to combat that. And it's kind of like if you ever read The Westing Game as a kid, it's kind of like that, but the scavenger hunt takes place through all of Boston, and it's like with adult characters instead of adult characters and Turtle, who is just such a great character. So, there we go. There we have it. Those are the books that I have been reading lately that involve magical librarians and or magical libraries. If you have read any of these, or if you have recommendations under that category of things, I would love to know in the comments down below, because I'm not done with this subcategory or subgenre. I think it is one of my favorites. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, great! Let me know, and I'll see you in another one very soon. Bye!